So I'm live on LinkedIn and on YouTube as well. If you can hear me, please say I can hear you in comments and we will begin. We will begin. We will begin, my friends. We will begin. Live streaming. Sharing. Perfect. That's good. People invited on. Hello. If you can hear me, just say that you can hear me, and that'll be great. And I hope the audio is okay. And then we will have the show that we deserve. We'll have the show that we deserve. Indeed. Alright. I am 10 minutes late today to start. I started on time, but these technical difficulties led to the delay. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that, folks. So if you can see me, if you can hear me, say something. That reminds me of a Pulp Fiction dialogue. If you're alright, say something. Something. Okay. Should be good. Are we okay, folks? Oh, great. People started joining in. So I will begin any moment. I just need a check from you stating that the sound is indeed okay. I just want the sound to be okay. Then we'll have the show that we deserve. Does the sound okay, guys? Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Just give me a sound check. Is the sound okay? Can anybody hear me properly? Is there any problem with the sound? I guess the sound is okay then, huh? Yes, it is. Okay. Alright then. We'll begin. Begin. Hello everybody. Welcome to Thinker's Frequency. We are having such a good time. This is the peak of human civilization. We are working so hard, doing such good work for ourselves, our parents, our kids, our wives, our husbands, our friends, everybody. Or other people's husbands and wives, I hope. And just when we thought things couldn't get any better, like they couldn't possibly get any better, well, they just did. Things got better, ladies and gentlemen, with Thinker's Frequency. This morning, we're gonna continue on our journey of reading between the lines things that are especially interesting and important in the world of business and finance. Like this is a this is the fun session where you get insights and analysis which don't lead to paralysis right before you start your day. Right before you start your day. But before we begin, we'll have a sip. We'll have a simultaneous sip. We'll all have a sip together. All you need for the simultaneous sip is a cup, a mug, a glass, a tank, a chalice, a stein, a canteen jug, a flask, or a vessel of any kind. Pour it with your favorite liquid. Today I'm having buttermilk. Matta, yet again. It's a very, very favorite drink of mine. And here we go. It was so good, I had to do it again. Just when I think it can't get better, lights up my day. Dopamine hit of the day, folks. So there we begin. Tariffs have run into a wall. US court says president overstepped the authority. There was a news yesterday that the International Court of Trade or something has ruled that tariffs can't continue like that. So I don't understand how US works, because everything that the government tries to do, some or the other court gets in the way. The Harvard thing is still stuck at the court. They've extended the block on the court order, barring international students. Tariffs have also faced this. This is very interesting. Like if you could somehow, this is the George, if you can somehow get the judges you want, you effectively have the administration in your hands, right? And that has been the strategy of George Soros. So what he does is, why Elon Musk calls him a genius of arbitrage, is that he manages to spend the least amount of money to have the maximum amount of impact. So let's say if you're trying to have administrative control, what would you do? A very expensive way to do things would be to try and get your people elected, right? But a very cheap way of doing it is just get your DAs and judges less money. It'll take much less money to have your DA, district attorneys and judges. And if they are there, it doesn't matter what the administration tries to do. The courts will take the way. But that's what's happening. Elon Musk has quit Doge. Very, very interestingly, Elon Musk has said that he's out. And while Elon Musk goes out, what's very interesting is that he has not been successful. Elon Musk has not been successful at all as far as Doge is considered. So when he came with the chainsaw for bureaucracy, he was hoping that he'll at least save $2 trillion in government spending by eliminating wasteful expenditure But did that happen? No. They got 50 billion in US aid and tried to cut 160 billion, and all of that is going to be stuck in Congress. So most of what they were trying to do is going to be stuck in Congress, and it's possible that it doesn't work out. So, all for what? And when somebody pointed this out on X, saying that he did his, whatever he did is extraordinary, but even the smartest entrepreneur, the most successful entrepreneur of the world, the most successful entrepreneur the world has ever seen, could not eliminate bureaucracy, could not fix politics, and could not fix the growing debt spiral of US debt deficit. What hope do we have? To which he replied, three words: tried my best. That sort of paints a very sad picture for politics in general. This is why I always say the only thing harder than entrepreneurship is politics. Because politics doesn't run on logic at all. And voice echoing. Oh my god. I'm sorry about that. How is it echoing? Is it echoing still? When did this message come? Oh no. And voice echoing. Oh shit. Why didn't you tell me before? Is it? Is it echoing? Is it echoing now? Continues to be. Is it? Is it better now? Is it echoing? No, no, it's not. Sorry about that, Mr. Arun Sharma. I hope nobody else is facing. Do is going in Congress. Okay, sorry about that. All good now. Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir. So, even if the world's smartest and most successful entrepreneur ever couldn't fix politics, you can expect, and in US, uh, who are said to have slightly more developed politics than Indians, what hope do we have? What hope do we have? That's a very, very important question. So, that paints a slightly pessimistic view, or unfortunately realistic view about Indian politics. Like, we were thinking, okay, Argentina has successfully done it. So if US is also successfully be if US also successfully cuts bureaucracy, proves to be effective against bureaucracy, we'll have two democracies working fine without the bureaucratic overload. So that will be very, very good. Those will be very good examples for India. That's what we were thinking. But Argentina could do it, but US couldn't. And then it can be said that Argentina is a small country and US isn't. So that sort of lands right again as the most popular excuse after population, that India is a large country, Singapore is a small country, India is a large country, and so on and so forth. Germany seeks to levy 10% tax on online platforms like Google. Well, somebody's got to do something. You're a tech colony to US. You don't have any tech products for anybody, so you might have to tax. You got to do something. No surprises there. Big news coming from Ola Electric. Ola Electric loss widens to 870 crore in March quarter as sales scoot over. Sales have declined 61%, 61.8% year on year, so the last quarter to this quarter, I mean, last same quarter last year to this quarter, sales declined 61%. Hope is a very good thing, probably the best of all. So, sales have declined for Ola 61% year on year, and losses have widened 870 crores. But Bhavesh Agrawal, Mr. Bhavesh Agrawal says that it's something that they already accounted for. He says that we were looking at this, and during this process, there was a registration issue with the existing registration vendors. So they were shifting their registration vendors, due to which this revenue uh, couldn't translate. So that's what Mr. Bhavesh Agrawal says, which is obviously you're free to doubt it. Everybody can doubt it, but that's what he says. What do you think about? Uh, he says capex is also going to be lined up, but the initial 1.5 gigawatts is stabilizing, and only then we'll be looking at 5 gigawatts of the cell manufacturing capex. So he's trying to stabilize the operation now, and he says it's a period of learning and introspection. We've learned now. We have learned, and being a public company, we'll have to be mature about how we deal with things. That's good learning, sir. That's good learning. I'm sure. That's nice. Uh, of course, Ola Electric has its problems, a lot of problems. Question is, question is, a lot of people saw it coming, right? Ola Electric's problems are not new, and everybody saw something coming as far as the whole operation is considered before it went public, before they started making. My question to you is, what was that moment when you thought that this smells bad? You know, what was that moment for you that it smells a little wrong? You know, for me, that moment was when Mr. Bhavesh Agrawal said that we have this huge factory, and all this is 100% women factory. Only women will be working on this factory. We want to say that women can make things, and so in our factory, it's gonna be the India's first factory with all women workforce. That's when I knew that it's gonna get screwed. That this is not going to go well. That was a clear tell for me. This is just optics. When you're trying to make a factory, when you're trying to make something as hard as like a proper product, something that people are going to be riding and using for commute, instead of thinking about that, if you're more concerned about women leading the factory, that's it for me. That was a clear tell for me that this is gonna go south, and it did. People actually, the scooter went in reverse. Some of the forks came out, the wheels came off, the batteries burst, burning people's asses. A lot of things happened, but all of this, none of that was surprise to me after I saw that the women. That's when I knew that these people are focused on optics and not really. They're not serious about this. They're just pump. And before that, a big tell for me was when Mr. Bhavesh Agrawal said, just left Ola. He just left Ola cabs and moved to Ola Electric, and there was a fallout between him and Mr. Ankit Bhati, who was his co-founder in Ola Cabs and also the CTO. And he was no part of the Ola Electric game. So that was also a very clear tell for me that something might just not be going as well as it should. Because why would you just cut your partner short like that? And that happened, and now it's gonna be 9:15 in some time, and people are gonna see how Ola Electric stock does. It's not gonna do well. It's not gonna do well. Very interestingly, government is setting export targets for AC makers. Speaking of stocks that could do well, government is wanting to like 15 to 16 million in export potential exports. This strong potential where government is looking at after smartphone manufacturing. Smartphone manufacturing began in the smartphone manufacturing project in India began in 2017, and since then it's done so much of good work for India. The next play India is trying to look at is ACs. A very interesting player who saw this coming probably has been Havells. So Havells has been making ACs, and also they've shipped their first uh, lot outside, and it could just be something very interesting for them. Like Havells could be taking this opportunity head on. Along with other players, of course, there's Voltas, there's LG, but as a B2B play and even a B2C play, Havells could be doing very well in this regard, which is interesting. ED reveals Vadhavan's duo empire of fraud. DHFL, well, no surprise. They took the fake home loans, 2 lakh fake home loans, bank losses of 35,000 crores, 42,000 crores in sanctioned loans, and these people were buying like 80 crore sculptures and art pieces while they were abroad. So that's interesting. That's, what do you say? Is it inspiring? Ah, Indian entrepreneurs. They just find a way to inspire. Speaking of inspiration and fraud, Blue Smart is in trouble. It's not being able to pay back its loans. No surprise there. No surprise there, because the fleet is down. It said we used to service our loans with our cash accruals, but since the fleet is off, we won't be able to do that, and that's a big problem. So Blue Smart is not being able to pay for its loans. No surprise there as well. Bajaj is warning an EV disruption over China export hurdles. So there's something called magnets, some special class of magnets, which are very important in electric vehicles. The two, so those magnets are being disrupted by government's uh, watch on import from China. So that might just be a very difficult problem, says Rajiv Bajaj sir, who is obviously a very accomplished entrepreneur in this space. So he knows this. This still shows how much we are dependent on China for very critical components, because even in smartphone there are some 200 manufacturers, 200 suppliers in China of key components. So Indian smartphone manufacturing is still essentially an assembly play, and so is EV, and so is solar, and so is the biotech play, where APIs come majorly from China. DTH companies have been asked to pay 16,000 crore license fee dues. Oh my god. DTH funds. DTH is direct to home, the cable TV guys. Cable TV guys are going through hell. In a matter of some years, they've lost 8 million subscribers. Their subscription is going off the cliff. People are not watching TV anymore. People are not watching TV at all, and especially cable TV, linear TV. And these people sell linear TV, and they're not being able to sell it, and their subscription is going down. And then government says pay us 16,000 crores in license fee. So it's just better for these guys to quit now. Interestingly, Tata and Airtel were trying to merge as a DTH play, because when an industry falls, consolidation happens, and consolidation was happening with DTH. But unfortunately, that couldn't happen. So now you have Dish TV, Tata Play, and Bharti, Sun and Bharti Telemedia, and all of them have been given these thousand crore bills, which they don't know what to do with. So now it's going to be a legal battle, right? Every lawyer, lawyers make money. Who makes money? Lawyers make money. It reminds me of that scene from Shawshank Redemption where it's like, what are you in for? What am I in for? I'm innocent. Lawyer fucked me. So that's exactly what it is. Now these guys are going to go to the court, and it's going to go into a heavy litigation. Then these people are going to ask for discounts, and so on and so on and so on. I hope that government doesn't have to buy some of these companies like it had to do with telecom. Oyo reignites IPO push with SoftBank meet in London. Okay, yeah, I wrote about this. I wrote about why Oyo wants to IPO and so desperately, and they once again shadow banned my post. So what these people probably do is they mass report something. Whenever somebody writes something about it, they mass report it. And even though it's like growing quickly and it's people are commenting and sharing it across and everything suddenly gets stopped. So earlier I wrote about Oyo, and it just went in an hour. I saw 1 hour later it was 10,000, and then I saw many hours later still 10,000 impressions. Similar thing happened with uh, uh, with my post yesterday, 15,000, and that's it. That was done. So anyway, these people, Ritesh Agrawal says that they want to IPO and their earnings have improved. They unaudited profit after tax was 623 crores in FY25, and they're looking at unaudited profit after tax of 1100 crores in FY26. That's what they're trying to do. So they say that we'll be able to make a PAT of 1100 crores in FY26. So that's uh, so we should get a valuation of $7 billion. While 7 billion is still much less than $10 billion, for which Ritesh Agrawal's loans were pegged, it's still not far off. So if they are being able to IPO for whatever reason, it would be a big relief for Ritesh Agrawal. He won't be out, and they might just be able to pay some of the debt back, the term loans. Everything rests on this IPO though. If this IPO doesn't happen for whatever reason, uh, let's say market volatility, something happens, like some recession happens or anything happens. If anything happens, the company is over leveraged at founder level and then at corporate level. So that would be a pretty bad turn for the company if this particular IPO doesn't go through. So they're gonna have a meet in June in London where they're gonna convince SoftBank to let them IPO so that things can keep normalcy. US trade deal on track. EU pact in fast lane, says Mr. Piyush Goyal. Sir, great guy in my opinion. Has done a lot for the export scene, which is going to cross to $1 trillion very soon. So he says it's on track, and Ashwini Vaishnav sir says railways to create a sandbox for startups. They want to incubate more startups. They tried some startups with some operations, and that worked well for them, and they want to do it more. 85% households own smartphones. In age group 15 to 29, 99% can perform online banking transactions via UPI. That's obviously great news for this industry and India and data and everything. But it's very bad news for people in general because it's said that Indian smartphone usage is at 6.5 hours a day on an average, out of which only 1.5 hours is utilitarian. So people are essentially burning 5 hours a day on just on unpaid labor for social networking companies. They're watching reels and stuff, which is a big problem, and which is leading to many cognitive disabilities in young people, in old people, in a lot of people, and it's causing serious disabilities. Like people are not being able to do math, people are not being able to read, and this is why I want to build Seneca, and let's see what happens there. But it's a very big problem. Smartphone addiction. Smartphone is a great tool. It's a great invention, and it can lead to a lot of good for people. It just needs to have some guardrails as far as addictions are considered, because then it's just a problematic thing. Okay. Walmart says quick commerce is 20% of Indian e-commerce sector, and it's growing 50% year on year. So that's huge. That's huge. 20% of Indian e-commerce growing 50% year on year. That means it is possible that this takes over the Indian e-commerce sector totally. And while it's profitable in other markets for Walmart, India can take time, she says. It's not going to be linear, and Flipkart will lead to heavy investments. So in a few days, or let's say already, you're looking at Flipkart going heavy on e-commerce, quick commerce, Amazon going heavy, Zepto, Zomato, and Swiggy already there, and then Reliance and Tata, big basket, also coming in. So you're looking at seven players who have probably not much to gain, but a lot to lose if they don't stay on this course. Not to gain too much because it doesn't make a lot of money, but a lot to lose. That's a very interesting statement. So people often think, oh, Flipkart, Flipkart, how is Flipkart a company? It still doesn't make money. What if Walmart didn't acquire Flipkart? What then? So not every company is supposed to make money. Some companies are just supposed to not make the other person make money. So Flipkart always was a strategic asset, first for Tiger Global and then for Walmart. You know, it doesn't derive its value from the money it makes every year, as far as cash is considered. It derives its value from the money it doesn't let Amazon make, because it's a part of a very big play, right? Walmart is a $500 billion company by revenues. So it doesn't matter if it loses $1 billion here and there. It's unnoticeable at Walmart scale. But it matters if it is, lets Amazon be on its toes, or makes Amazon bleed here as well, or doesn't let Amazon take the market. And that makes Flipkart valuable. So if even if it keeps losing money for a long time, Walmart is not short of money. Walmart can pay, and Amazon will not be able to make money, and Flipkart will have a big market to speak of, and those losses will be offset by whatever Walmart makes globally. So many companies are just strategic assets. Like let's say WhatsApp is not a money making machine, right? WhatsApp didn't make money. WhatsApp never made money. WhatsApp is a 19 was acquired for $19 billion. And just now WhatsApp is starting to make money, but WhatsApp turned out to be a very good strategic asset for Meta, because it enabled Meta to have a very direct relationship with uh, its other products, and it also led a lot of data flow to Meta so that it could be better with its targeting. So if you type something on WhatsApp, you start seeing ads. Everybody knows about this. Meta, speaking of that, Meta has 1 billion active users. Meta AI. I never thought anybody uses Meta AI, but probably people do, says Mark Zuckerberg. He says 1 billion active users. Okay, so that's okay, that's fine. Data draft rules at odds with DPDP Act's supportive stance on data flow. So government has been very hell bent on data localization, but these people say that no, data localization like this needs to be thought of when it comes to uh, DPDT supportive stance on data flow. We can't like localize data so quickly and so on and so forth. So these things keep happening, not a big deal. Crisis at Jinsol, can't pay cab loans. There's a company called Jet King Infotrain, which has raised 6 crores to buy Bitcoin, which is interesting because not many this is a very rare instance where somebody has done that. So their total market cap is 79 crores, but they've raised 6 crores just to buy Bitcoin. Very interesting. Shapurji Palanji has finally closed its 3.4 crore credit deal. $3.4 billion credit deal. What am I talking about? 3.4 crores is monthly expense. Not even that. So $3.4 billion record deal. That Shapurji Palanji, by the way, was going through a tough time because its shares in Tata were being pledged for its debt. It has a very big debt, so it was trying to cover that debt. It wanted to sell its shares, it couldn't. So that was a huge rigmarole. But finally, it has closed that 3.4 billion record private deal. And LIC has subscribed to Adani Ports bond issue. That's cool. That's cool. Trump has met Powell, or am I pronouncing it wrong? Powell, the Fed chief basically. He says he should cut the interest rates. And if he doesn't cut interest rates, it's gonna be a mistake. Powell says we're gonna take a look at considering all the data points and non political analysis. Trump's perspective is that US has successfully tamed inflation under his government, and since they've tamed inflation, they should instantly cut rates so that economy can go in a growth trajectory. Trump wants growth to happen, the stock markets to go up, consumption to go up. For that, he needs the interest rates to come down. Uh, the way he has handled inflation is by bringing the price of energy down. He's brought the energy down by drilling. So uh, oil and fracking and everything. So he wants the interest rates to come down, but Powell says that it's going to take some time or it might not happen because there are some signs in economy perhaps which make it a bad idea. IndusInd fiasco robs yen magic in NRI deposits. Do you people know about NRI, sorry, yen deposits, yen carry trade? Do you have clues about that? Because somebody wrote Costco, Dheeraj Budgujar. Costco. Why did you write Costco? But yeah, so do you have do you know about this Japan carry yen trade? How does that work? Because this is one of the most fascinating concepts of macroeconomics. It's just incredible. It's absolutely phenomenal. So if you know about it, I'll not talk about it, but if you want to know, I'll tell you. So what happens is Indus Ind, uh, Japan had zero interest rates for a long time. Japan has had zero or negative interest rates for a long time. Why? Because Japan's economy uh, sort of burst in early 90s, and to save their economy from stagnation. They wanted people to spend, right? Now, how do you have people spending? You reduce interest rates, so there's more borrowing, more spending. But that wasn't enough. They had to like punish saving, because Japanese people started saving money after their economic crash. They had to punish saving, so there's like negative interest rate, negative deposit rate, so that people don't save money and they actually spend money, lend money, and economic activity can keep happening. So Japan had, for a long time, very long time, zero interest rates. What happened with those interest rates was, uh, money makers, banks across the world, used that as an opportunity to make some money. So in Indus Ind, after Indus Ind, what has happened is yen magic has disappeared. What this means is, these people, let's say NRI, use NRP deposits, right? Sorry, PRP deposits, where they have 8% yield on rupee. So what is it? It's called as premium rupee plans. Okay, so premium rupee plans, what they do is they invest some money and they say 8% appreciation on rupee. So they uh, have these dollars and they place a forward bet on yen. So they take yen. They say, let's say I'm going to have 1 crore yen for 62 lakh rupees uh, in 3 years. Okay, considering that Japan's interest rates don't grow, Japan's interest rates stay silent, and then by that time rupee interest rates have gone up. So in the middle you make some margin. You understand what I'm saying? So you take money in rupee, use it to buy dollars. From dollars you get yen. Yen you pay, you place a forward bet, and on that forward you get some margin. Because Japan's interest rate is not moving at all and other countries' interest rates are moving, you make money, you save money. Okay, at an investment of 62 lakhs, you make 11 lakhs as margin in these 3 years. And that used to be the magic sauce for a lot of finance players with the Japanese carry yen trade. Take Japanese yen, borrow it, change it to dollars, invest it, give it back after some time. It doesn't change, the interest rates don't change, you make a margin. But what happened with Indus was, and other people, the Japanese interest rates grew because Japan is now looking at an inflationary economy. Japan wants to grow, and Japan is looking at wage growth finally after very long time. So Japan's interest rates grew uh, 2 years or 3 years ago. Uh, when the or maybe it was 1.5 years, some time ago, when Japan's interest rates grew, these forward trades that these banks had placed, they started showing losses, and that is how IndusInd lost money. And a lot of people, they bought whatever they bought using Japanese yen forwards, and that sort of the basis of that faltered because Japan's interest rates grew. I hope you got that, because that's perhaps one of the most fascinating pieces I've read in a very long time. So when I was looking at it, yen carry trades, I was just reading about it. So interesting that you buy something at a forward rate and then receive yen, and then they can lock the rupees and then they can spread the margins and make money. So that was the Japanese yen trade. You were free to read it up, and I hope you liked that explanation if you did. So RBI is trying its best to boost banking resilience and uniformity on the cards, and curb mis-selling of products by bank and NBFCs. But that's always a thing. That's always a thing, right? Okay. So the threat for Apple, as we've discussed in the last four sessions, is not really causing a lot of problems for India or for Apple either. People say that it's not going to be a problem because, uh, as I said in the last episode, it can't possibly make that investment as quickly in US. So 25% tariff or whatever tariff is still permissible till the time it's just impossible for them to make the same product in US. So the way I see Apple dealing with this, it's gonna announce some sort of investment in US to assuage uh, Team Trump's concern about not investing enough in American manufacturing. But till then, it's gonna be business as usual for India, or for Indian manufacturing at least, and its exports, and that's gonna help us. That's gonna help us. And that's about it, my friends. Oh, by the way, Jubilant is Jubilant is basically looking at, it's buying, right? So it's having a bond sale for acquiring Coca-Cola's bottling units, HCCH, Jubilant Bhartiya, and then there's another Jubilant unit which is doing. Till then, Jubilant has stalled the expansion of Dunkin' Donuts. Well, that shouldn't surprise anybody. Dunkin' Donuts didn't pan out the way Jubilant thought it's gonna pan out, and that it's been around for 2000 since 2012. And unlike Domino's, Dunkin' Donuts couldn't really connect with Indian customers, and there are a lot of hypotheses around it. Why Dunkin' Donuts couldn't connect? If pizza could connect, donuts could connect too, and so on and so forth. And everybody has their own thesis. But you know what? Nobody knows. It's easy to inspect on past outcomes and explain why they happen, but it's always better to not do that and think about the future and try to predict what happens. If not predict, just hypothesize what happens, because that insight is useful, right? What good is the insight saying, oh, this is why this happened, and this like that's a history professor. That could be insightful if it's helping us plan for the future, but mostly it's just intellectual masturbation, right? Better is to look ahead. And with that, we'll start our day. I hope you had a good day. I hope you have a very, very nice working day. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of Thinker's Frequency. I hope you got a lot of insights and analysis, and that don't lead to paralysis. See you tomorrow, folks. Bye bye.